to my presentation.
Thank you very much. So let me use that bit more time, but that's fantastic. Okay, so we had Dave talking, but I think that Alex speaking. Is that correct?
Take it away. Tēnā koutoa, my name's Dal Jarratts. I'm the Secretary of the Halswell Residents Association, and with me is David Hawke, the Treasurer. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you all today. You will have seen from our submission that we highlight 3 topics. Firstly, some spending where the City Council has done well at strengthening communities funding. Secondly, some places in your budget where you might save money. And finally, where you actually need to spend money. If there is an overall message from our submission, it is this. Past councils have too often taken the easy option, but these options were the expensive option which you are now left to deal with. The most obvious easy option has been to do greenfields development in Halswell, while leaving vacant or underused land around the central city. This has meant that you are now tasked with duplicating all sorts of infrastructure out in Halswell, and the draft LTP does not deliver, especially when you consider the building consent data released in March 2024. A quick analysis to illustrate how does your draft LTP measure up against the Greater Christchurch Spatial Plan, which Christchurch City Council helped prepare and signed up to. The plan lists 10 aspirations for Greater Christchurch in 2050, and in the context of Halswell and the draft LTP, we will choose 5 for you today. Less dependence on cars, easy to get around using public and active transport. Fail, too hard to get across the road to get to bus stops, and too many busy roads to ride your bike. Māoridanga is embraced. Fail. Halswell heritage narrative is stuck in colonial times. We've been working to make a small start on reversing this with seeding funding from the Community Board, but the next step depends on heritage funding, and the draft LTP zeroes this. Access to everyday needs close to home. Fail, especially the area south and east of Halswell and Sparks Roads. The LTP does nothing to change this for those areas. Streets and spaces are designed for people. Fail, cars everywhere. 5, equity access to resources. Fail, because of busy roads, children cannot walk to school and old folk can't get to a bus stop easily. As you will have seen, we have laid out specific changes you can make in the final version of your LTP that addresses these issues as they apply to Halswell. Thank you for listening. Kia ora.
Okay, so I've got Mark started and then Yanni.
Thank you. One quick question. You've suggested that we do away with the Cars Road relocation funding. Have you spoken to the Kart Club about that?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah. David?
No, we approached the Office of the Chief Executive and Mayor and asked where they were at in terms of their consent application. And because at the last version of the LTP, there was a sort of pending thing, and we were told that nothing has changed. So I don't think it's up to us to talk to the Kart Club. It's actually through a council process, because council has given a lease until 2054, something like that. Yeah. So,
okay, that's cool, because I actually happen to have spoken to one of the officers at the Kart Club. So,
Thank you, Yanni, please.
Yeah, thank you. Just to acknowledge your request around supporting community boards to be more engaging, which I welcome. But I was particularly interested in your discussion about separated cycling infrastructure, saying that that you said as a priority you don't want it delayed. I was just wondering if you had any concerns with what's proposed. We've been told that we need separated single direction cycle lanes, and when I look at down Halswell, I see shared paths and bi-directional cycle lanes on one side of the road. So I just wondered if you've had any input into the design and have got any concerns about the safety as it's being proposed.
Yep, David, take that one.
Yeah, I think really where we're coming from, so if you look at the cycling infrastructure that's there, that's bi-directional, so that's Quarryman's Trail along Halswell Road, and that actually, so far as I'm aware, has not led to any issues. So where we're driving at here is the, I'm not sure which one you're particularly referring to, but there was a Halswell-Hornby connection that's just disappeared off the LTP since the last time we revisited it. I think those sorts of things are details. You look around the city and there's single direction, there's bi-directional, but the key thing is to actually get in some separated cycling and cycle lanes, cycle ways rather. With which side of the road, I mean, whether they're two-way, one-way is neither here nor there.
Referring to page 5 of your submission, the Lincoln Road PT improvements, including proposed timeline and separated cycling infrastructure, but it's not separated. And we've been told in the past that those designs are really dangerous. So I just was interested, but that's okay. Like we can.
Yeah. No, we've worked with our MP on that question and with Wakakatahi, and that separated cycle lane for us is the best way to do it because it gets, particularly that particular one which is central government funded, is as far as Hillmorton High School is the safe route to school for school kids, but that's central government. So are you referring to further on along Lincoln Road?
Yeah, I mean, when I
got to get going, mate. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we've got a joint one. Leslie and Andrew together are going to talk about the same thing.